ladies and gentlemen, this is Lindsey Carlasare. For you guys that are on Spaces and YouTube and follow financial news, she is the wife of Joe Carlasare, who is a vocal player in the Bitcoin community, digital assets, all things finance. And Joe and I have become friends through Spaces and various other platforms. And he told me this really cool story that his wife was involved in a venture that I wanted to really share with everyone here and see if we could support her. I've already supported her. I'm probably going to support her some more if you guys support her. I know Joe's really pumping her up. And I just wanted to introduce Lindsey to the audience and have her tell you who she is and what she's working on and why Joe and I are involved in trying to help her effort, and that I'm going to really push on all of you guys that watch this to help her. It's a great cause, and I will not be shy about pushing on you guys to be generous. So I'm telling you up front, this is we need your help, and Lindsey's going to tell you the story that brought us all here together. So Lindsey, so glad to have you here. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're calling from, and what we're talking about today?
All right. Thank you so much, Gary. It's so wonderful to be here and nice to meet you. And thank you for the support that you've given to me already. I will say my husband, Joe, is a vocal advocate about everything that he feels strongly about. So he's just a really brilliant man. And I'm so happy that he connected the two of us. So thank you for having me on today.
You're welcome. And I will tell you that I think we need more men like Joe, not less.
Oh God, I don't know about that. You're not married to him, so
Good. That's good.
no, I'm just teasing. He really is fantastic. But I could talk about Joe all day, but that is not why we're here. So I will tell you a little bit about the thing that I'm working on. It's actually a really interesting approach to a fundraiser, something that I haven't seen before, and I'm really kind of excited to be participating in this year. So it's called the FabOver40 competition. And it is a global competition that involves women over the age of 40 raising money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And it's a competition in the way that basically there have been several rounds since October actually, and you get the most votes, you get sent to the next round. So they've cut it from the top 20, the top 15, top 10, then quarterfinals, and now we're in the semifinals. So right now we're in the round where we're making it to the final 14 people out of what started at about 100,000 women across the world. So it's pretty amazing to be in the position that I'm in already, to be in the top, I think 200 or so women who've made it this far to the semifinals. So um, my strategy thus far has been to push to my family and friends, social media. I've been emailing my salon, my yoga studio. I contacted my mayor who donated to me to the fundraiser last night. And so I'm just trying to reach out to everybody I can think of within my network to help contribute, because I need those votes. So Joe, my husband, has been completely supportive and really helpful because he has a large network as well. It is not something that the people that tap into Joe's Twitter Spaces and his podcasts and things probably may think about all the time, but breast cancer is really, really important to me. It's really important to a lot of people. In fact, I think I would be hard pressed to find someone who didn't know another person that was affected by breast cancer. So the benefit for the National Breast Cancer Foundation is really a powerful one, and I think that it's really important that people pay attention to what the foundation is doing and why they're doing it. So that's what I wanted to talk with you the most about, is the foundation and the work that it does, if that's okay. There's
Please,
enough.
yeah. No, that's
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. And if you have questions about the competition or anything about that I'm happy to talk about that too. But I think the most important point here is about the foundation. So um, the FabOver40 competition is actually one of the foundation's largest supporters. So I think um, I can't remember the dollar amount, but they raised, there's something like $7 or $8 million in one of the last fundraising rounds that they did. Um, and I think that it's neat that the competition can collaborate with the foundation to help promote their agenda. So um, the foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit. Um, I guess I could talk a little bit about what they actually do with the money that they receive from all their contributions. So they're really focused on education, um, and early detections and screenings, and helping provide mammograms and breast cancer or breast ultrasounds to women in underserved areas. I learned through some research that $150 to the National Breast Cancer Foundation provides one mammogram to a woman in need. So,
Wow.
one of the things that I find frustrating is after turning 40, I had to go get I went and chose to go get my first mammogram, and it was fine. It was an okay experience. It turns out I'm in a high risk group. So I went and had to get a breast ultrasound after that. And navigating the process was between insurance and getting it paid for and it not being covered, the way they billed it and coded it for the diagnostic, the lab. It was all actually pretty frustrating and confusing, and it made me think about how, I mean, I'm educated and I work close to healthcare, um, but it made me think about all the people that don't have high health literacy, don't have access to clinics, and don't have access to be able to read their explanation of benefits and figure out how their procedure was coded in order to get it billed the right way and get it paid for. So I think about these things, and it's one of the key reasons why the foundation I think is so integral, is because there's so many women who have to navigate this process that's difficult and complicated and expensive, and so many that they just choose not to, and that's the problem. Early detection is one of the things that the foundation focuses on. If I have a couple of statistics that I wanted to talk about, and I don't want to like throw a bunch of numbers at you, but um, if there's something like 1 in 8 women in their lifetime will be diagnosed with breast cancer. 1 in 8, which is, to me, that's, I mean, it's crazy and sad. Um, so there's another statistic that I'm probably not going to remember off the top of my head, but it's early detection, meaning catching a tumor or some kind of mass or anomaly in a mammogram or a breast ultrasound, can actually increase your life expectancy after a diagnosis. And if you catch it early, it's treatable. If you don't get a mammogram and don't get or the ultrasound, if you need that, if you're in a high risk category, you risk letting something grow and grow and grow and take over, and it gets harder to treat. So I just that's one of the things that I think the foundation is doing that's really important, is getting people to get their screenings. Um, Somebody actually asked me recently if the foundation does research, and so I was looking into that. I don't believe they actually have a research arm on their own, but they do fund millions of dollars of research that other institutions do to um, to help provide an evidence base for early detection and interventions for early treatment of breast cancer. So I just, in case anybody's wondering about research, I think a lot of foundations and a lot of nonprofits have research arms, but this one particularly funds other research or research by other groups. So I think that's important to note too. Um, Another important thing they do that I really liked was um, they provide grants. So a lot of the contributions that they have provide grants to clinics that provide free mammograms and ultrasounds and other screenings for women in underserved areas. So I talked a little bit about health literacy and finances, and lack of insurance and all these other things that would prevent somebody from going to get their preventive screening. And the foundation does a great job at promoting that and providing resources for people, and resources for clinics who can provide those services for free. Um, so, um, so those are the key things that I think were important to highlight about the foundation. Um, I think that breast cancer survival rates have improved drastically in the last 30 years because of early detection, because we've been able to catch anomalies sooner and get people in treatment. Um, I know treatment options have evolved as well, and the science has gotten better, and the medicine has gotten better. I still think Joe says this all the time, actually, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of the cure or something like
Yeah.
that. So I
Hey,
like to,
Lindsay, let me ask you a
yeah.
question. Like, what brought you down this rabbit hole? Was this personal beyond just having going through the test, which, most men, there will be a lot of men watching this, right? And,
Yeah.
the stats you gave, that means there's 12 and a half women out of 100 that are going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. That's a lot. I
Mhm.
know I've been impacted by my sister. Well, she didn't have breast. Well, yeah, I think my sister and then an ex-wife of mine, and she left it too late. She's like, it wasn't just simple. It was, uh, well, she's still dealing with it,
Yeah.
years, double mastectomy, I think, and just a lot of, it's not one and done. It's not like breaking a leg. I
Right.
guys don't understand. Hey, this is not like breaking a leg. You get it fixed. This is you might do some repair, and then it's ongoing, just a
Yeah.
lot of and it's got to be scary every time you go, right? So I'm just trying
Yeah.
to wonder, what brought you to this point that you're, spending a lot of time, energy on, hey, we need to do something about this.
Yeah. Well, I've had family members. An aunt of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer. She went through surgery and chemo and has recovered. And it was uh, really challenging for her, obviously, and her family to watch her have to go through this. And it was just a kind of a brutal process. I don't live near her, so I just kept, updates from afar. But watching her go through it and survive, and she's now, running 10Ks and just really thriving at life. It's really inspiring. On the other side of that, I have friends who have 35, 36-year-old friends who have died from breast cancer. And that's heartbreaking. And that's probably one of those, there's these rare cases that just, are rare, and it's the exception. But people go through, young people like that go through chemo and radiation and go through treatment, and their body just gives in, and it's, there isn't anything you can do about it. It's taken over, and it's too late. But I also have another friend, two friends actually, who had genetic testing and identified that they have tested positive for the BRCA gene and have had the double mastectomy in order to prevent themselves from getting it. They recognize they're in that high risk group, and so women are starting to just take ownership that way too. Just take them out, and maybe do what we can to prevent risk in the future. So for the men listening to this, I would just implore you to think about your moms, your wives, your sisters, your daughters, aunts, and any friend that you have that may have or may in the future deal with it, and encourage the women in your life to get their mammograms, get screened, and take care of their bodies the best that they can. And and men, I think a very small number of men actually get breast cancer, but it does happen. This program is mostly focused on women, of course, but I think that no one is immune from the effects of it, and especially when you're a family member of someone who might need support from you. So So that's the key. I think the key message for men is that you've got women in your lives, hopefully, and you need to step up for them and help encourage that those preventive screenings and supporting the foundation through the FabOver40 competition has been kind of just a unique way for me to support something that I care about. It's fun. It's a little bit different. It's been kind of neat to see the process and see all the other women's photos and their stories. Really inspiring stories from the women in the competition. Um, so yeah, it's been a neat experience, and I think that while I have not personally dealt with breast cancer myself, it's been close to home, and I think that that's probably the main driver for me.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it always, it's good to bring it close to home, uh, and give people a reason to be more generous. So you keep mentioning the foundation. Fab Over 40 is the name of the kind
The
of contest.
competition.
Yeah, the competition. Do
Yeah.
you do? Is there a goal? How much money? A couple of things. So, how much money is the foundation? Well, what's the name of the foundation?
The National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Right, and that's a proper 501(c)(3) that allows for tax deduction, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So
And
all you
so
guys that have made a bunch of money in Bitcoin this year, okay, don't complain to me and Joe that you don't have tax write-offs because you were cheap, okay? What you need to do is you need to reach in your wallet, your pocket, your Bitcoin wallet, your bank account, and you need to start thinking about, have you done enough this year to give to a good cause? It's good karma, guys, okay? I've been doing this my whole life. I don't need to know this lady to support her. I know her husband. I like her husband. I like what they're doing as a human race, as part of the human race. She has a 4-year-old kid. Her 4-year-old boy's learning that it's not just about making money and going to work and trying to, get an edge, but also to be a good human. So this is part of the whole journey of being a great business person, a great human being. You can buy all the Bitcoin you want, but if you're a miserable human being, you're still going to be a miserable human being with a bunch of Bitcoin. So it's time to reach in and do some good for the planet. So it's called the National Breast Cancer Foundation. It's a 501(c)(3). It's a nonprofit. The competition that we're playing is called Fab Over 40, right, Lindsey?
right. And
Where's
there's
the
this,
link at, Lindsey? Is there a link that you
yeah.
could? Oh, there we
I
go.
was just going to say that there's a specific link that I will send. Maybe you can post it with this so people can click on it to vote for me. And it's just and there's more information about the competition out on that website, but I will send you the specific link that has my tag on it. So you can share that with your followers, and for those people who may be selling off a little Bitcoin this week as it gets goes up a little bit, maybe that can help bolster your profits there to
Yeah, there's a capital gain, boys and girls. There's a capital gain when you sell Bitcoin, and there's no sense in not taking advantage of the tax write off.
The only thing I wish they did was I wish that the website actually took Bitcoin as a form of payment. I thought that would have been really neat. Maybe I need to suggest that for next year.
Well, you should suggest it. Why they would not take any form of capital.
Right.
We have so far to go that
I
that
know.
that that a firm that large is not even accepting Bitcoin right now. It's like mind blowing. Lindsey, how much money have you raised so far? Like, where are you in the competition? Because the guys that follow me and Joe, they're alpha males. They love winning. So I need to get you. Like I told Joe, I said, Joe, like if we're gonna do something for your wife, we need to make sure she's like at the very top of the food chain.
Right.
Um, what
Well, I
kind of
can tell
number?
you, I don't know. They don't disclose how many dollars that I have raised, but it goes by votes. So right now I think I'm in first place in the semifinals round. I haven't checked it yet this morning. If I remain in first place by the end of tomorrow evening, then I will move on to the final round, which is the final 14. My goal was around 100,000 because That's what last year's winner raised. It's a huge number and mind-blowing to me, but I think given the duration of the competition between October and December, it's not completely unimaginable. So we kind of I kind of set that number based on around what the last winner had raised throughout her entire competition. I wish I knew where I was dollar amount wise, because it would just be interesting to see, but I'm sorry, I don't know that number. Um, I can just say I've been in first place through each of the rounds in order to move on to the next round. And the website's kind of neat. It shows you when you've moved positions. If someone in my group moves ahead of me, it clicks over to second place or third place or 16th place, which is not a good place to be. So it's kind of fun to watch it and as it moves along. But yeah, I wish I could speak dollars for you, but that's kind of my goal. Overall, the competition raises several $1,000,000 for the foundation. So I think it's safe to say, given the volume of the number of women in the competition, that they will hopefully meet that this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, guys, so we're going to put the link up. Lindsey's trying to raise 100 grand. Like I gave you, I think $1,000, like that, like $1,000. Okay, $5,000, $10,000. Some of you guys are ballers. Okay, like act like it if you're going to be one. I'll do more with Lindsey if I see my team and Joe's team giving more. I'll do more. Then I'll lean on Joe. He'll do more, and then we'll go lean on the other guys that are on Mario Spaces, and they're all talking crap. We'll do some with them. Make sure that they're big boys. And this is just about us all helping everybody become more responsible, more alpha, more alpha, more alpha, and more alpha shows up with more action, guys. So I'd really like you to think about helping Lindsey. This is awesome karma. It's December the 6th. Santa Claus is coming around, and there's a lot of people out there that probably need Santa Claus more than the people that are listening to this show. So let's think about, this might be our opportunity to give, be a little bit better human beings. You're not going to suffer not having another Timex or Rolex or whatever kind of X you have. So just really, really implore you. It's never, ever hurt me to give. Lindsey, I cannot remember the last time I gave to an organization, even if they didn't use the funds properly, that I regret it. I always think giving, it's just a good karma flow. And it also, you know what it teaches me? It teaches me that not to hold on to money too tight, or anything really too tight, just to let it go. It's just dust, really, anyway, right?
Well, I read a quote the other day that said, if something can be taken from you, it wasn't yours to begin with. And I don't want to speak too flippantly about money. I think money is important for those of us who spend time helping organizations like the local food pantry or, youth organizations in our communities. Anything you can spend, or whether it's time or money or resources helping others in your community and national organizations like this foundation, it's good for the soul. It's really good for humanity, and it does make you a better person, makes you feel good, and it's that chain effect of doing something good for something else. Might help you make better decisions for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. And I think it's just a matter of practice. And so I really, really appreciate anything anybody can give to support this cause. Remember that $150 helps a woman get a mammogram. A mammogram can save her life. So that's the key takeaway here, is that even just $150 is meaningful. It's really meaningful. So thank you, Gary, so much for having me on. I really appreciate your support and you taking the time to help me share the message with your friends and followers.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsey. Thank you for being here, and really thank you for doing something that I'm not going to do. Like I need, I'm so grateful that you're doing it, because I don't have the time or the inclination. Where would people follow you, Lindsey, if they want to contact you directly? Do you do Twitter? Do you do what?
I have a Twitter. I don't necessarily do Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm there. I have a presence. I can share my handle with you as well when I send the link. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. I can send those too. I would say I'm probably spend most of my time on Instagram and Facebook. If I'm on social media, it's usually those, and just
What's your Instagram logo, or what do you call it? The name or
name. Oh, I think it's Lynn's Carla, but I have to check. That's I
okay, yeah.
don't. Even,
Okay.
yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, awesome. We'll stick those in the links. You guys follow Lindsey. If you have any questions, if you've been impacted by cancer, if your mom has it, a sister, hey, like reach out. Okay. We are stronger as a group of people. Reach out to Lindsey. She's not being a hermit crab. She's come out of the shadows, out of the dark, and she's reaching out to help other people. Well, no, really. I mean, you have to like get into the daylight and start. This is my message to the alpha male. Hey, you want to be an alpha male? Get out of your closet, get out of the house, get into action, meet people. And here's a person that you would not have normally met. I would not have met you had I not, been connecting to people. And here's an awesome human being. If you guys are like me, I need people like Lindsey that are going to do this type of work, because I'm not going to do it. I'm just not built for it. I'm built for something else. And this is my way of, okay, look, I can give her some fuel in the shape of currency, Bitcoin, whatever. Joe will take Bitcoin. The National Breast Cancer Association, you can send Joe the Bitcoin. He'll figure out how to liquidate it. But I would just encourage everybody, ask yourself, have you given enough this year? If you haven't, it's a really simple answer, okay? It's a yes or no. I have or I have not given enough. You know when you've given enough, when it hurts a little bit, when you can't go buy that extra thing that you really wanted to just play with. And let's keep this lady at the very top of the food chain, okay? I want her to win. I hate betting on second or third. So let's, dig deep, and let's help Lindsey. The links are going to be below in the presentation. And Lindsey, I look forward to chatting with you after the competition and see how we did. I'm quite sure we're going to end up in a pretty strong position. And if we don't, I will be shaming my team about the next 6 or 7 months.
No, there's no shame. That defeats the purpose of doing kind things for other people.
Well, I just
But
mean it a
thank
little
you.
humorously, a little shame, a little coach shame goes along. That's what I mean, coach shame. So
I will keep you posted after tomorrow if I make it to the final round, and then I'll be one of 14 competing for the grand prize. So
awesome, Lindsey. Thank you so much. Okay. Really
thank you.
enjoyed meeting you.
Thanks for having me, Gary.
Thanks. Bye-bye.